Our number one power ranked team in the ACC right now, Clemson Tigers, coming in at plus 165 to win the conference as far as the odds goes. Pretty typical 119 ranked portal class, 3 transfers, which is actually more. Actually, that may be combined, more than combined what Dabo has done in other transfer portal classes. So he finally dipped into it a little bit, got a wide receiver, got some other players. They have one of the highest returning production percentages in the country. Obviously, like you mentioned, that starts with Cade Klubnik at quarterback. Their wide receivers are very good, all coming back. TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, Antonio Williams. As far as the offense goes, their running game, probably the biggest question mark as far as the offense goes. But the defensive side of the ball, man, they might have 2 top 5 picks on that defensive line, and TJ Parker and Peter Woods. Like, those 2 guys right there may give them the best defensive line in the country.
No, I don't disagree, man. I mean, when you really think about it, got a little bit of a hot take here. I think this is the best Clemson team on paper going into a season since 2019. That includes that 2020 team and Trevor Lawrence's last year with Clemson. And the really good Clemson teams of the past that Dabo had that were the best teams overall, what do they all have in common? They had really good quarterback play. They had really good elite wide receiver play. They had a really good defense led by their defensive line, who were just living in the backfield and getting a bunch of tackles for a loss and sacks. And then they had an elite coaching staff. Check all those boxes with this year's Clemson team. I love what Dabo's done with the coaching staff and adding Tom Allen at defensive coordinator. Garrett Riley is going into year 3 as an offensive coordinator. They saw a really good uptick last year with their offense with Klubnik overall. And I said this last year, adding offensive line coach Matt Luke last year, I thought would be a really, really big deal for them. And it was. Their offensive line play did improve. I think it's going to be even better this year with the returning production that they've got coming back. And I love what they added too with the defensive line coach last year and Chris Rumpf, who had a ton of experience in the NFL, who was on Nick Saban's staff as a defensive line coach for a while. He's had experience at Tennessee, Texas, different locations. With the talent that they've got coming back overall at every level on the defense. That defense is going to be nasty for Tom Allen this year. And as far as production at the quarterback position, it's hard to top 43 total touchdowns, what Klubnik did last year. So I just think, again, overall, the starting group on offense and defense for Clemson, this is the most talented bunch that they've had on paper and the best team they've had on paper since 2019. I feel good about saying that.
Yeah, man, Dabo just keeps doing what Dabo does, and he's not going to change really for anybody. He's not getting pressured, obviously, from everybody who's criticizing him for not utilizing the portal. I mean, heck, we were some of them, last year, kind of in our head coach rankings, which we'll get to later on in the offseason. But he just keeps doing what he does, man, and he's very convicted in his beliefs on and off the field. And if they get hot, right, and they go through the ACC like we think they can, and they get hot in the playoffs, and they pull off a national championship for Clemson and the ACC, obviously that would be a big, huge boon for the ACC. But, I mean, does Dabo just retire after that? Like, after just kind of throwing it at everybody's face, we don't need the portal. We're going to continue doing the recruiting stuff, continue bringing in top 10 recruiting classes. We're going to win it all. And there's really nowhere else to go after you win it all and rub it in everybody's face.
Yeah, he's just having too much fun, I think, man. That guy looks like that. He just seems like he has more fun than any other coach overall in college football. So I can't see him, like when Nick Saban used to say that being a part of a team, being in the locker room and things like that, just like rejuvenated him year after year. And I think that Dabo is part of that as well. Like, that guy's been a part of a team since he was a kid, playing sports himself, and then playing in college at Alabama, and then coaching in his career overall. But, I mean, you made a great point, man. I just think that this year's Clemson team, there is a little bit of pressure on them because of all of the returning production that you mentioned, and especially at key positions, like having a veteran quarterback. I mean, Cade Klubnik's like one of the elder statesmen now in college football. You've kind of got a youth movement this year across college football in general with some of the best teams in the country breaking in new, younger quarterbacks all over college football. But Clemson, LSU with Garrett Nussmeier, which obviously Clemson plays first game of the year, they're kind of the elder statesmen now in college football. So If they don't get it done this year, or if they don't make a run in the playoffs this year, it might be a little while before Clemson does have a team that can make. They'll have a team year in and year out that can compete at the highest level in the ACC. But this is the first team that they've had since 2020 that can compete at the national championship level, and that we can sit here and say today they are a legit threat to win a national title this year. They do have the team that can do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, they just flew under the radar last year. Like, and you said it when we did our win totals episode last year. I think it was 8.5, 9.5 for Clemson.
Dude, FanDuel had it at 8.5, and
Yeah.
that was just ridiculous.
And so
Total
the
disrespect.
expectations were about as low as they've been in the past decade for the Tigers. And so now they're back to, okay, expectations are higher. We're back to, late 20 teens expectations here. So, yeah, like you said, the pressure is a little more on. But, Dabo's a seasoned coach, got a couple national championships under his belt. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and like the expectations this year are not to win the ACC.
Yeah.
The expectations this year are, and they should be, are to compete for a national championship.
Yep.
With there not being that one team going into the season that we all believe that is just like dominant and is head and shoulders above everybody else roster-wise, like Ohio State last year going into the season, we all talked about how legit that roster was from top to bottom. They obviously had a few hiccups in the regular season, but they went on that run in the college football playoff. Year before, Georgia and Michigan going into the year, and so on in the past. This year, there's not that team that we're all just sitting there saying that is just head and shoulders roster-wise above everybody else. Clemson has the roster on their starting lineup on both sides of the ball to compete with anybody in the country at the national championship level, which is what the expectations are for them this year, and they should be.